Before this class, my understanding of mental health was a lot. I had to deal with my own problems, so I'd go and seek counseling. I'd taken a lot of psychology classes and enjoy really learning about the topic, but I never had specifically learned about deaf mental health. There were also a lot of aha moments in this class, but I think the biggest one was when recently we read chapter 9. At first, I didn't want to talk about it because I was worried about the judgment that came with it. But I do think it's important to know that people start in a place and they're allowed to grow and change their perspective later on. So, this is why I'm going to share it. Um, I didn't understand why it was important for deaf people in prisons to have things like a video phone or have things like an interpreter in their classes. I didn't fully I got it, but I didn't understand on a deeper level. Until and I was like, well, they're in jail. So like does it really matter? Like they're in jail, they're bad people. Then we went to the class and I watched the videos and we talked about it as a class and I was like, wow, I'm a horrible person. um, because it's not about giving people extra, it's about making it equal. And I think that really made a lot of sense to me after we had talked about it. Reminded me of this time when my mom was in jail 2 days before Thanksgiving, and she was able to, due to a DUI, and she was able to call my dad and be like, hey, I need you to bail me out. I want to come home for Thanksgiving. But a deaf person in that situation, most places aren't going to have a video phone for you to call home. And that is not okay and horrible. And I didn't put two and two together at the very moment that I was reading through the chapter. But after we went to class and talked about it, I was like, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Also, that perspective of not everyone who goes to jail is a bad person. They just have made a wrong choice. And understanding that concept was definitely something that I had to like look at the bigger picture of. So yeah, perspectives. Definitely changed mine there, and it was definitely an aha moment. The chapter that resonated with me the most was chapter 6 because at the time that we were reading it, Substance Abuse and Treatment Recovery is the title. My mom and I hadn't been talking for like 6 months due to alcoholism on her end. And she was in and out of recovery and it didn't seem like she wanted the help and all these resources were being given to her. And we were reading it and I'm like, there are people who want the help, who need the help to get better, and they don't have simple access like an interpreter for the AA meetings to be put into their own language so they can understand and talk about it and get better. And you're taking it for granted. And so that's why, not you, my mom, and that's why that whole chapter was really hard for me to read. I ended up reaching out to her about a week later after we had read the chapter, and we're on speaking terms again, and she's trying to get better this time. I hope it works out. So there's that. If you're curious about later on, come talk to me. Um, there aren't really any topics I'm struggling to understand because I feel like we talk about them a lot in class and we really dive deep and everyone's opinions are shared and it's really easy to see every single perspective of the bigger picture and I love that about this class. Compared to my own biases and beliefs of mental health before and then now, after finishing the class, beforehand I definitely saw mental health as like, okay, well, I struggle with this, and somebody over here is going to be struggling differently because we're all different people. So, like, I have anxiety, and somebody like me with anxiety, like, the triggers that I have are going to be different from the triggers that somebody else is going to have. But I never really thought about that in terms of like, oh, if you're deaf or if you're deafblind or like all the different things that come into that. Um, and it's definitely different because I am going to struggle with anxiety a different way, completely differently from how a deaf person's going to experience it versus how a deaf blind person's going to experience it. There's always that underlying base level that everyone has, like what the definition of anxiety is or whatever other mental disorder you have. There's always the baseline, but it is so different on a deeper level of how each person is affected by that. But all in all, I really enjoyed the class and I had a great time. And I hope that there are more classes like this where I can learn and grow my perspectives on life.